All right, welcome back to the 80 Star Basketball Channel, the only star basketball channel where the owner is starting to have a real hard time keeping up with everything. And you think I'm talking about prices? No. Wow. What a week, actually. So first, I want kind of some housekeeping stuff. I'm actually going to throw a lot at you on this episode simply because so much has happened. And I'll get there in a kind of a second. But for me, for you, it's just all prices. I think, everyone's watching their prices and tracking what you want. And uh, first of all, I just want to say for people that have emailed me and I said I'm going to get to something, whether it be like a JD, the card hedge thing, or I even like that at that last week I talked about the uncut sheet that I have that has the 11 Roy and finding that uncorrected. There's variations, so that those cards, as far as these letter years, can be 85 or 86. And someone told me there was another variant of that. And looking at the last 11 Roy Rookie of the Year subset is actually a very interesting set to look at. So I'm going to talk about that in another episode. But things like that I can't you kind of keep up with right now. And it's actually a testament to what this channel is becoming and something that you don't know for, I don't want to say what I'm kind of become that as I've mentioned this before, but it's evolving as it grows. One thing that has happened this week, and especially in the last couple days, is, and this is very, very good, but I'm kind of having almost a forward looking metric, maybe. But it really is. I've had 6 people now comment on in videos or reach out that are either brand new or international, and they don't know, they're really just confused or totally starting out. How do I start out? And I realized that this channel, like I've said before, has kind of become this unique spot. I didn't think about it or expect it or anything, but kind of like the Facebook group. The Facebook group is really for expert advice and some great place to get cards. That's really the place that I really, really go to. But I want to, because I can't answer all the questions that come in or from the new people. I did want to start out, and this is very good. So intermediate and advanced people, give me 1 minute here. For the new folks, please come to starbasketballcards.com. Right here, another good one is Basketball Gold. They will show you the structure of everything. And if you want to keep it really, really simple, go to starbasketballcards.com. These are the people that really, really, these have been experts for a long time. I get the sites are even pretty old, but they're very, some of them are basic. I really like this one for basic. But I understand there's so many confusing cards and whatnot. So if you actually come in here and then click on this star sets, it'll bring you to this page right here, and it'll show you the 3 basic sets. If you want to think about it super simply, it's just 3 basic sets. Don't worry about all this other sets. You can get there, and look at all the subsets there are, but I get that it's super confusing. Michael Jordan has so many cards. Just focus here at first. If you want to get very, very simple, and advanced and intermediate star folks, plug your ears. But at the very, very simple, basic, at its most simplistic, Michael Jordan has 2 base player cards. So if you think about it, and they're from the 85 set and from his rookie, which is right here, the 84 set, which you're well aware of now or seeing. And there was a prior year star before his rookie year that there was a set before. This is actually one of my favorite sets, if not favorite. I know I just made everyone mad, but that's fine. These 2 sets really are my favorite 2 sets. But this is the 3 things. There's a couple more Jordan cards that are base set cards, but they're in the set. He has a total of 3 base set, but just for player cards, it's to make it super simple. these are three cards like your normal Fleer tops. These are the the plain Jane standard sets that are normal. So you have high number of cards at 288, and I can't think of them off the top. This is like 165 or something, or 180, I forgot. But these are the base sets. So kind of focus here, and then from there you can start looking at your other sets. So I wanted to say that because, again, with new people reaching out, I'm seeing that, wow, this is growing. Like, not only that, I've gotten more people in the last 2 days than I would go a month prior that were either, not domestic or brand new. So that was really, really cool to see. Another thing I want to talk about is I was not able to. I tried to actually do a pre meetup with Beckett this week, and because to me, because there's so much that I want to make sure that or try and say, and I wanted him to understand the arguments so he could actually think about them and process them. So we don't get sidetracked. This can be a rabbit hole of debate. So I wanted to kind of inform him. He wasn't able to meet, and so obviously we could kind of just hope for the best as far as all of us talking, and covering kind of what and everyone to be heard, et cetera, and to kind of make the art, debate smoother or the talk smoother or whatever. So I tried to do that. However, I did get finally got in touch. Actually, I haven't. We just spoke for the first time, or finally reached out to him, and Brian and I, Cajun Cardboard, are going to try and set something up for next week. So he and I will get together and talk classifications, etc. I don't know if I'm going to be interviewed by him or he's going to be interviewed by me, but I'll probably do the interview. That's what I'm guessing. And it kind of started because someone said to me, he's been surprised at Star Prize. I know he's just been surprised, and I've been saying it doesn't surprise me. I've been saying this for a while, and it's going to continue to surprise you because I can help explain what I see happening and why they're going up. And someone said, "Hey," and then this goes into the data modeling thing because someone said, "Hey, look at Cajun Cardboard's database." And I was kind of like, I don't know if he calls it a database or whatever. He calls it the hierarchy. And to me, I kind of like, that to me is more like a ranking table. You could put this data as just a really visually nice thing. I love that he did this. His Jordan hierarchy is really, really cool and really, really helpful. So I just thought this is a really cool piece that's gotten a lot of traction. And but it's kind of funny. The guy said database, and he didn't know that this is what I do. And to talk to data modeling for a second, I keep talking about fundamentals and stuff. So when I heard someone say this database, and I kind of think of Crocodile Dundee, I'm kind of like, well, that's not a knife. That's a knife. This is a data model I worked on. You can even see my screenshot of 2014. This is an old client, and each one of these is a table name. So you can see up here, kind of looking at it, this is a table name, and each one of these would actually represent his one, all of this. So, a database kind of looks like this in structure. For the people who haven't seen a database and database tables, this is the structure of it. And maybe that hierarchy, if you put it in one table, it might be like in here, like you could have, card details and rank, something like that, just to keep it very, very simple. I know a lot of people don't deal with databases, and a lot of people do. So for those of you who haven't, this is what I'm going to be talking. I'm actually going to touch on this on Sunday. I'm going to do kind of a pre-Beckett showing you what my arguments are and kind of explaining, but classifications, what they are, what they do, and these lines represent relations between them and how you can connect. And a lot of it is classifications. And I've done this. So this was a one that I helped create, do, and work on and manage the data. And applications call these things. And we pull information from here, and we pull it with with a certain way to query things. But anyway, I'll touch on this more on Sunday. But I did want to show that my level and thinking is different, and how I kind of where I'm in the cards and the hobby, it kind of intersects here, and I have a unique position how I view things and value things. And I kind of look at stuff different, and I realize, and that's actually how I looked at Star. And I'll explain that later, but I am going to get to it, so don't worry. I'm getting the data modeling stuff is taking a backseat, and it's very difficult to condense it. So I'm have all my plans to get there. I'm still going to do it, but it's when I can. I'm trying to catch up. Uh, so on this note, there's been two things I've been kind of saying that I haven't. One, I'm going to stop saying, and because it's that fine line of things that I say where I'm trying to be helpful, but at the same time, there's a negative to it. And it's kind of like when I talk about you sell your 101 regret graveyard. I love the saying just because it is. I mean, you sell a 101 and you see a price jump and you want to sell, and then you immediately regret it. And most of us regret it while we're selling it. And then it's just it's continual. And I haven't met a person yet that's gone, gosh, I'm glad I sold that. And not that they don't exist, but I'm just saying, most everyone who's reached out to me is either, has had this thing. But I kind of feel like I've started to sound like I'm trying to shame people into keeping their 101. No, we all have different walks. There's all reasons why you might have to sell. I totally get it. I myself had it. I could, it's like I'm even in the situation now where I could do it where it would be helpful, but I simply don't want to give up the one-on-ones I have, and won't, because replacing them is way more difficult than selling it. That is for sure. But as a collector, I really am just trying to say that to be helpful, but I don't like the kind of like it sounds like shaming or talking down. And on this channel, I come from a collector aspect, really do. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm above money or you're below or anything like that. No one's talked to me about this, by the way. I'm just saying this because I say it sometimes. But the regret is very, very real, and it's just something really consider it before you do it, because if you're going to regret it, it's worse giving it up than you're trading your cardboard, your white piece of paper for some green pieces of paper. So obviously it's going to be helpful, but definitely a trade-off. But so I'm gonna kind of chill on saying that, but it doesn't mean that it's still not a good time, or always consider your options. But I also keep talking about fundamentals, and I'm sure everyone probably just thinks I'm talking about pop counts. When I'm talking fundamentals, I'm actually talking about this. With pop counts and context when I classify, and the pop counts are a part of that. And I'm going to explain a little bit better on Sunday what I mean on that. So I did want to say that, you'll see me comment or talk and say fundamentals are there. I'm talking about this stuff, folks. This is the fundamentals, is your data and how it lives. So when I do talk about fundamentals, really the main thing is all data. But the database that I currently work on is actually much bigger than this, and it's got about probably, I think we have 90 million active users, and we have users that are almost half the United States. So I don't say that egotistically and, oh, I'm cool. I say it's actually just very stressful. When I have to classify, I have to make data work, and I'll explain more on Sunday. So, but jumping back to the fun stuff, I'm going to talk. So, pricing for the 101. Obviously, things are going insane. I know you guys are here for my auction action on Wednesday, or hope some of you are. I'm going to keep this one very, very short. I am sorry, just because I don't want this to run too long. But this has just been a very interesting week with all the people reaching out and more. And last night, I was going to talk about these, but I don't have too much time that I want to focus on these. But I'm going to talk to these more probably on, if I can get another video even out early next week, but talk about what's going on, with some of the new stuff that has popped up. Even today, for an authentic on eBay, a 7 that came up, and this one of the Mike Stasic Classic, as I want to call it, with the sticker autos that are put on. So check out these for eBay that have come up and new in recent days. Obviously, we had the REA sales, and the sales ended at 52,000, I believe, for that BGS 8.5, and I'm doing this off memory, and a PSA 7 sold for 50,400. I was informed of a private sale, and I believe it was at 56 or 57K for a PSA 7, which would fall in line with 50K is now an established area for PSA 7. I'm willing, to say that. And I think the next sale will be above 50, with confidence. And a PSA 6, I believe, went for 33,000. So that's kind of where we are in those ranges. And for this morning, for anything on PWCC, these kind of trickle up, and we had a couple drop off that were sold. We had one that was sold, I believe. There was an auction on here that PSA 6 was auctioned off here, and this one is the only one currently kind of mentioning the fact that this might be sun faded, or it could just be the image. So if you're interested in bidding on this one, go ahead and reach out just to make sure that the coloring on this is not from the image, because it is concerning to look at. So as far as looking at the actual, the card, make sure maybe see if you can get some extra images on that from PWC or Fanatics, PWCC, which is now Fanatics. As it popped up of last night, this is the interesting ones. I'm going to be all over it. Look at this already, 146,000 for the 8s. And this one is the sweet spot. I actually think I would have really have liked to have picked up an 8. I was considering it at 6 figures, and that just that was going to be tough. But I really do feel that this card can do some really high numbers here shortly, or in the long term. The 6.5, I'm going to do some comparisons. My 6.5 looks like this, but that's a personal thing that no one cares about but me, but showing just how similar some of these can look. And I have a 6.5 that is here. This one looks to have like a little bit of it looks like to have this surface stuff. So I'm guessing that's what that is, and not the image. And it really is genuinely on the card. But again, have to request new pictures from Peter or Golden on this. But that's what that actually does look like. It looks like there's a little bit of surface. So I'm kind of surprised that that's actually a 6.5 if those images are correct. So again, I'm going to speed, and by the way, I'm speeding through all this, and this 3 is at almost 10,000 right now. So this one is actually a pretty dang eye-appealing 3. Like seriously, that is like the nicest 3. I don't care if it's creased. Look at that puppy. That is a nice card. Like, that is again, this is kind of just personal opinion, me looking at these and going, but if I were in the market for a low grade, I'm pursuing that one. So the golden auctions, I'm really going to be tuned in on. This is highly interesting to me and a lot of other folks, but this is some good stuff right here. On that, real quick, let's go over to eBay. Let's check some things out. Just some things I'm trying to give you a heads up on. If you're in for a Sixers bag, this is I might even get this before this ends, but it's a little bit of wear on the edges. They always do, but this might be more so than normal. I'm not sure, but for $1,300, that's a really good price. Also, this Drexler at PSA 6 at $320. So might want to take a look at this one. This ends in 7 hours. And then a Crunch 5 at 1,700 with 12 hours to go. Big jump right here. The uncut sheets. This one has the Jordan. It's very heavily damaged. I stayed away from it. I talked about it. It was at 15,000. They bumped it up to 20. So again, I you know that I pick up and I've gotten interested in. This is a particularly rare item, or these uncut sheets that I see are undervalued and just something that I'm pursuing and looking at. But this one, I might consider even looking at a bit harder. The Crunch PSA 8 has really, obviously Crunch and the last 11 kind of subset Jordans are on, jumping up a lot. So this is something that people have their eyes on. This obviously is a jump up quite a bit. PSA 8 for 7,000 last night, but it's not even just subset. Jordan, sorry, I did want to mention the 195, the sales of that. I believe it was a 7 or a 7.5. I would have to go and find it, but just off and trying to remember that sold for 10,000. There's been so essentially Star Jordans all across the board are everything is just going up and jumping by a lot now. So I'm going to be looking at everything, hopefully a little bit more detail. But next week we'll see. After obviously the interview is going to be a big video that I've got to make and talk to. But I'll really try and focus more on these prices because obviously as everything goes up, and of course I have to be as with that comes a lot of other things, which is great, and all this is great. And keep reaching out to me and keep sending me all the messages and things that maybe I can relay to other people, you guys, and that are just helpful. But but as far as auctions and everything, this is some of the ones that I noted and seeing, and obviously prices. This has just been a fun ride, and we'll keep seeing and keep growing. Like, subscribe, and then I will see you on Sunday.